Hello, welcome to another Acrylic Asylum painting lesson. I'm Mike Ferris. In this video, I'm going to get started on this 8x10 pre-stretched canvas with my image already laid out with wax transfer paper, as you can see here. So this image is also available down in the description box if you'd like help with the drawing process, as well as colors and materials, and a short video on transferring images to your canvas. So now getting started, I have permanent black, some titanium white, and a little cad yellow. And I'm just going to start this with the background color. So I'm going to take some titanium white, a little permanent black to that to gray it, about this tone like so. And now I'm just going to take just a little bit of this Cad Yellow. This just warms it up a little bit because I want to give it sort of this gray, sort of happy tone to it instead of like a dark gray, if that makes sense. So a little yellow to glow that up. And now I have my number 11 flat brush. I'm going to take it, and it's got a nice edge to get around everything very well this way with this picture. So into this value, just going to load up, and I'll just start up here and just start bringing it down and going around everything with this. Okay, no cleaning, of course. I'm just going to take a little bit more permanent black and a little bit of white into that so it's not so dark. And I want to take a little bit of a darker value, and I want to go up top here and just sort of run this down. You can see it's very subtle, not much of a difference, but it just kind of gives some detail to the background. So I kind of forgot to fill in this part here. No problem with that same darker gray. I'm just going to go again using the tip, and I can even turn it like this. As you can see, it gets around those shapes very well this way. So if you don't have a nice flat brush with an edge that's really crisp on it, I recommend an angle brush, as that is actually ideal and works the best for getting around different shapes and getting in small areas with details. So as you can see, just dusting that down. Okay, so now I've added to my palette some Cad Yellow, Cad Orange, some permanent red, burnt umber, raw umber, and some phthalo blue. And I'm going to start just basically blocking in all the general colors. So I'm going to mix a value here for a very dark tone here. I'm going to take some of this blue, a little bit of this raw umber, and about equal parts, I'm just going to mix this up really well, about this tone here. I've got my palette knife picking it up and smashing it down just to get all of the unmixed color pockets to be all one here so that I don't get any surprises on my canvas. Okay, I've got my number 6 angle brush here, and this is really nice with that edge and that tip. I can get into details really well like this. So with this brush, I'm just going to go ahead and load up this dark Payne's gray that I made here. Okay, just something like this, kind of wiggle through, and it gives me a nice sharp edge. And with the tip, I can just get in here and, like I said, very easily just get these fine details and make specific shapes here. And I'll just go down and basically run this dark value in its general locations for now. Okay, so now I'm going to take another value here. I'm going to take some raw umber and a little bit of this dark Payne's gray that I made here to mix that in a little bit with that. And now a scoop of some of this Cad Yellow in there to warm that and also to green it down. This is going to be a dark army green that I'm trying to make here, so a little bit more yellow for that green effect. And now some titanium white to bring that up just a little bit. So as you can see, it's getting that nice army green going here. And I'll just pick it up and just kind of play it back and forth to get it mixed up well. Okay, a little bit more phthalo blue here. And now again, more of this Cad Yellow to get into that green look to it. Okay, so something about this value. And again, with my number 6 angle brush, I'm just going to load this up. And I'll just use the tip once again and place this generally where it goes in its locations. Okay, so without cleaning, now I'm just going to go back into that dark Payne's gray again. Same brush, and let's apply some other shapes and just basically put this in its general locations. So as you can see, it's just values and putting them where they go, and really there's hardly any blending in this piece. So this makes a very, very easy painting, just putting some color on a brush and pretty much just putting the values where they go. Okay, no cleaning again, and I'm taking titanium white now into that army green. You can see the blue showing up there a little bit more with that white. And to this, I just want to make it a little bit lighter. Let's get a little bit more white into that. Maybe a good scoop like so. And going up to that dark army green again just to add some more color back into that. And I'm thinking a light color like this. And again, just putting this in its general locations. Okay, so putting more values in more places, I want to take now a good scoop of this Cad Yellow and just a little bit of this burnt umber into it. This just dulls this yellow down a little bit. And because it's Cad Yellow, it is a little bit of an orangey flavor to it when I add that brown, as you can see there. So again, with my same angle brush, I'm going to load this up. And once again, with that nice edge and that tip, I can get into really small areas and do some fine details and apply this value in its general locations. Okay, a quick dry on medium heat with the hair dryer so I can apply more layers and more coats. As you can see, this first layer around is very thin and very rough looking. Such is the nature of acrylic paints. So one more time, I'm going to do another coat of the same value. Okay, I've added to my palette now some yellow medium here. As you can see, it's a little bit more bright and vibrant. So a little bit different tone now. I want to stick on top of those first two coats of base coats that I put down. So again, a little bit more burnt umber. As you can see, it dulls that yellow down. But as you notice, it's not quite as dulled down or as oranged. Orange. It's not quite as it doesn't have as much of an orange value. It has more of a yellow hue to this. So on top of this, I'm going to, again, with my same angle brush, apply this. And there's something about putting this on top of this other paint that makes it vibrant and it kind of glows it up. And I think it brings out sort of more of a gold tone this way. Okay, so now without cleaning, I'm going to go now into some Cad Orange, a little bit of Cad Red to mix that. And now to that, a little bit of Burnt Umber to dull that just a little bit. And now some Titanium White to bring it up. So I'm looking for a very light, kind of dulled down orangey color here, something like this. And again, my angle brush, and I'll just take this value, and right in here, there's going to be a reflection of a person that's holding his phone, taking this picture of this awesome reflective vase here, or picture, whichever. Okay, without cleaning, going back into this yellow medium here, and I'm going to go over to this Cad Yellow and Burnt Umber mixture that I first made. Okay, a little bit of mix with that, and a little bit more Burnt Umber into that. I'm looking for kind of this peachy sort of skin color for the arm here, and this is the person that's going to be holding the phone taking the photo. So now just taking more Titanium White to that value, and again with my angle brush, I'm going to strike in some highlights and show a little bit of details like this. Okay, some reflection brown color up at the top there. Okay, now I'm going to go into that dark Payne's Gray, and let's fill in around this person here. And one thing that I want to do as I'm filling this in is I want to leave kind of this gap, as you'll see here. And this is kind of a separator to show kind of where he's holding the phone. So I'll reflect some of that dark value up here as well. So with that same dark value, I'm just going to go back over all the dark areas and just deepen and darken them. And I'm going to strike some lines such as at the top there, as you saw, and also right here on the spout. And just again, so now I have my beat up number 2 nylon brush. I'm going to go into some Burnt Umber now with that, and I'm going to get that medium yellow into it, so that just more or less warms up the brown. Okay, something kind of like that, and a little bit of Cad Orange into that now. Okay, so sort of this darker orangey brown color that's kind of vibrant and warmed up with that yellow, and right up here, and I want to just put this value in, and I'll have it heavy at the very top there. And then as I bring it down, as you can see, I'm just kind of stirring it up, and this just really blends it in nice over that gold tone, and it really helps the reflection and gives it that nice vibrant glow tone when I have this darker value to contrast against it with. Okay, back to that dark army green color again, and I want more Titanium White in it. So as you can see, it's this very light minty green color. And again, my number 2 beat up, nylon brush. And this just helps to blend in some smaller areas. So as you can see here, using the side of it, I'm just going to go over this dark value with it very lightly as the paint is leaving the brush. And it just kind of blends over like this. Kind of adds some shine in this reflection like that. Okay, so now I'm going to go into this dark Payne's Gray again. And right up here, I want to work some of this dark value up in here. This is going to really encamp some of this bright sort of green glow that's coming out. And in turn, this is going to give this more of a shine to it this way. Okay, now I'm going to go into some of this Phthalo Blue and some of that dark army green. And now I want to get some of this yellow medium into that. and actually a good scoop of that because I want to make more of a vibrant green now out of that dark army green. So again, a little bit more phthalo blue and a little bit more yellow medium. So the blue and the yellow really brings that vibrant back to that green, as you can see there. So right here in the middle, I just want to go kind of right here and just sort of start this glow that's happening. That's this like green emerald type of shine that's coming out of this. Alrighty, without cleaning, I'm going to take now just some yellow medium now, good scoop there, and just a little bit of titanium white. So as you can see, it's really vibrant, and this is going to really pop out that emerald shine out of this. So right in the middle here, just going to sort of scratch in this little shape thing here and blend it out. And then also over here, there's a couple of little sparkling shines right here, reflective color. Okay, just kind of sneaking over like that, and this really ramps up its shine this way. So as you can see, with little paint left on the brush, I'm just going to dust that out, and that really ramps up the shine and gives that natural light play this way. Okay, no cleaning, back to that dark army green, and let's throw in there now some of that dark Payne's gray. And once again, I want to go around, very little paint on the brush, and just sort of dust this in just a little bit to encamp that and help to contrast that shine out of there. And now with my clean number 2 flat brush, I'm going to go back into that yellow and burnt umber mixture. And as you can see, it's got a little bit more burnt umber into that. And I want to get into some shadow areas and just pretty much play this in. And again, very little paint on the brush as I bring it out and dust it into that gold color. Okay, no cleaning again, some raw umber and a little bit of that Payne's gray color. And now just a little bit of burnt umber. And right in here, just a little bit of a darker value to show some reflection and more contrast. Okay, I want to get some more of that green that was more vibrant. As you can see, some titanium white. It has a little bit of a blue hue in there. And let's run this value in just a little bit. Okay, again, no cleaning. I'm going to take a little bit of this yellow medium, a little bit more into that same value that I was just using. And something about like this, I want to give sort of this yellow sort of glow tone that's kind of hitting off the gold values here of the vase that sort of reflects in, and just a teeny bit of paint. As you can see, I just glazed over that and just brought it down just a little bit. Okay, just a little bit more paint now with that yellow. And again, I just want to go with this value, and I'll just scratch that in, kind of something like that. Alright, again, no cleaning. I'm going to take some phthalo blue now, just a little bit of that paint, a little bit of that Payne's gray color to it, a little bit of titanium white. So I want this very light blue hue, sort of a grayish kind of color like this. So I'll take now, again, just a little bit of paint on the brush, and I'm just going to run this value in like so. Okay, back to my angle brush again. I'm going to go with some direct reflections on the handle here. This is going to need some crisp straight lines, or not straight lines, but just crisp lines without blending and getting into small areas. So some Cad Orange there, as you see, and a little bit of titanium white with some burnt umber mix. So again, I'm looking for this very light, very vibrant orange peachy color. So I'll take some medium yellow to that. And again, a little bit more burnt umber to that and more titanium white. So as you can see, a very light orangey peach color. And with the very tip, as you can see, I can get that very fine line there, and I don't cover up all that value, and I can make it very precise where I want this to be. And this is really going to ramp up the shine and the glow and all of that and make this thing look super elegant this way. So now I've got my number 3 nylon round brush here. This has got a nice point onto it, and I'm going to go into this dark value. I'm going to pull it through as I turn it to a nice tip. And with that very tip, I can use it to control the thickness of my lines and also the precision of my shapes and all of that. So just going to work this dark value in as you see here. And of course, the harder I push with the brush, the fatter the line. And of course, just the very edge, or I'm sorry, very tip will give me a very fine, skinny line. So however I want to control this, and I can get these shapes and all of that in here the way that I need it to be. Okay, going back to my number 2 beat up flat brush here, and I'm going to take some of this yellow medium, and to that I want to lighten it with just a little bit of titanium white. So if you don't have a beat up flat brush, you can use a natural flat brush or natural round bristle brush. The natural bristles really help to blend stuff super well. Okay, so as you can see right there where I wanted it the heaviest and the brightest, and as I bring it up into that orangey brown color, very light pressure with my brush, just dusting it up and fading it up like this. And this is really going to set off this glow and this shine this much more. Okay, with that same value, I'm going to go into some places like on the spout here and also on the very bottom of it. And just, again, dusting that down into that darker orange value there. Okay, a little bit of that value on the handle as well. And same thing down here. Just going to start up here on this reflection here and drag it down. And again, little paint on the brush. And just going to dust it down just like this. Very little pressure. And just really bring that into a nice blend. And give it that pop and that glow. Okay, with that same value again, and I'm going to go around these areas that I left open here. These are going to be direct, bright highlights that are going to have a glow and a shine that carries past that white. Okay, because again, without those other extra colors and those fades, it just will look like titanium white, and it just kind of looks out of place. It doesn't really look like light shining out of there, so definitely want that yellow to surround that. Okay, I'm going to go into some burnt umber now and into some of that Cad Yellow and into that other Cad Yellow mixture that I had made. Okay, and again, I want to go in here and work this value in. Okay, now I don't need to clean, and I'm going to go into some permanent red. And I want to get some burnt umber into that. And I'm looking for kind of this dark maroon color, and I'll throw just a teeny bit of Cad Orange into there as well. Okay, and again, my number 2 flat brush, I'm just going to take the edge, I'm going to bring this down and make this sort of dark reflection. Alrighty, with a clean brush now, I'm going to take some of that yellow medium with some burnt umber mixed into it, and I'm going to take some more burnt umber to that to darken that. Okay, so it kind of greens it down, sort of makes it more of a warm, kind of a brown tone in a way, and I want to strike this value here and there. Okay, no cleaning, and again with the tip of this angle brush, I'm going to go into some more of that dark army green, a little bit of this yellow color to it, and now some more burnt umber into that. So I'm looking for more of a darker shadow area where the handle meets the picture, and it's going to show some details on some of the folds that come together in the metal there. And so these darker shadows, as you'll see here, are really going to serve to do that. And then when I put the titanium white down, it's really going to pop that shine out of there and give that detail and ramp it up in such an awesome way. But for now, just getting the values where they go. As you can see it building up with more layers and more values playing together. Okay, so now I'm back to my number 3 nylon round brush and just titanium white alone, and I'm just going to strike some direct highlights on the very top with this. Okay, now going back into some more of that dark army green with some more titanium white, a little bit more phthalo blue. Okay, just kind of mixing these values up for that green tone again. And some more of that yellow. As you can see, it's a little bit lighter, a little bit more vibrant when you get that phthalo blue in there with that yellow. Okay, and just pulling it through as I turn it, it brings it to a nice tip. And right up here, just going to strike this value in. Okay, with that same value on this number 3 nylon brush, I can even use that to dust it out if I want with the very sides and edges of it. Okay, so going back again to that medium yellow now and titanium white. And I've cleaned my number 3 nylon brush, and I'm also going to take just a dip into that that light peachy color that I made. Okay, pulling it through to a point, and again with the very tip. And I'm going to strike some detail stuff right here, just like so. Okay, so as I run this light value down with the tip of my number 3 nylon round brush, you can see I'm just kind of skipping along, and it's just sort of dotted like that, and just kind of breaks it up and gives it more of a realistic look this way. Okay, so right here, just doing some little shapes. Again, I can control these shapes well with this round brush. I can even go on the handle here and be very precise this way. Okay, so again, I'm going to go into that dark army green, pulling it through to a tip, and right here, let's reflect some of that color through those. Okay, so these little things, it really ramps up the shine. Okay, more titanium white with a clean brush. And again with the tip. Just really want to bring out the bright shine of these and make this white a little bit more vibrant with a new coat like this. Okay, so without cleaning, now I'm going to go into some more Cad Orange and some medium yellow and some titanium white. Okay, something kind of like this, a little bit more orange into this. Okay, just kind of something like this. I'm going to pull it through again as I turn it. It brings it to a nice sharp tip. And again, with the very tip, I can very well control the lines and the thickness and the shape and all of that. So I'll just run this value in just like so. Okay, again with that round number 3 nylon brush, I'm going to take that lighter yellow here. It's got a little bit more white, as you can see. And I'm going to take this really bright glow out of this. I'm going to just come right out of the bottom of that reflection there and down into that yellow orangey value. And just in the same way that I do with my flat brushes, I'm just going to run it down with very light pressure on the brush as I run it up and fade it up into those other values. Okay, same thing up top. Okay, no cleaning. I'm going to go into some more of that yellow orangey peachy color here, and right here with the very tip of the nylon brush, the round brush here, I'm just going to add these little details that surround that dark shadow value that I put earlier. Okay, and now back to my number 6 angle brush. I'm going to take now a little bit of burnt umber back into that yellow, that Cad Yellow and burnt umber mixture that I had made, a little bit darker here. Okay, and with the very tip, and with great precision, I can just go in here and I'm going to strike some edges and just kind of run this value here and there on this handle. So building up this handle with these different values, you can see with all these different values playing and these precision brushes and leaving some of those other values, it really ramps up the shine and the reflection and the glow this way. Okay, so without cleaning, going back into some burnt and raw umber, this just darkens it now with a darker brown. I want to hit the edge here and also where the spout meets the picture like so for a shadow. Okay, back to my number 3 nylon round brush. I'm going to take just pure titanium white, and again with the tip, I'm just going to hit some striking highlights on the handle here and there. Okay, no cleaning again, going into that sort of peachy color here, a little bit more titanium white and Cad Orange. I want a very, very light orangey peach color here, and I'm just going to use the tip to kind of dot it down like this, kind of give this broken up sort of reflection like this. This really ramps it up, I think, and takes it to another level on shine this way. Okay, just doing these little things like so. Okay, and with titanium white again right here, I just want to go in and fade it out into that darker value and also a little bit up into that yellow, and this really starts to pop out the light and the shine and the reflections here. Okay, going into some of that dark Payne's gray with some titanium white, and again with my number 3 nylon round brush, I just want to drag some of that very lightly down into that blank spot here that I left open. Okay, now just a little bit more titanium white, and this is a clean brush now. Again, with the tip of the nylon round brush, I just want to hit some of these striking highlights down below like so. Okay, so I want to go now into some burnt umber, a little bit of Cad Yellow, medium yellow, and some titanium white. Okay, something like that, and we'll see a little bit more of the yellow and burnt umber. So kind of this dull but kind of warmed up brown color here that's kind of light, maybe kind of something like that. Maybe a little bit more white into that and some medium yellow. Okay, so maybe something like this, and right here, this is the shirt of the person taking the photo. I'll just fill this in. And of course, got to have highlights within the shirt to show the folds. Okay, so now I'm going to take some titanium white with a clean brush, a little bit of that medium yellow in there, and let's hit just some of this gap area here. Okay, going into just permanent red now. And this is my number 2 beat up flat brush, just using the edge of it and just going to strike some stripe stuff here. I don't know. This is something that's doing something. But if it's up top, it should be down below as well because this is so shiny, it's looking like a mirror and you want to be able to see everything. Okay, so I'm going to go back in now to that dark Payne's gray. And I want to go down here and just sort of build some shadow and reflective stuff to contrast. Okay, after some dark stuff there, I'm just going to take some pure titanium white and let's strike some direct highlights like so. Okay, going back into that yellow medium with a little burnt umber into that, and down here, just a little teeny bit of paint on the brush. Okay, just kind of glazing that over and giving that gold shine to it. Okay, just picking up some more of that dark Payne's gray, and let's work some of that in. And this just contrasts things, and it just really ramps up the shine and the glow this way. Okay, with a clean brush again, just pure titanium white, and just some of it, not all of it. I want to cover up a little bit, and again, contrast. So you've got the yellow, you've got the black or that dark Payne's gray, and then you've got the pure titanium white. And as you can see, it just all comes together and really pops this so well and makes that gold shine and everything come alive so well this way. Okay, so back to my number 2 beat up flat brush, going back into that dark Payne's gray and some titanium white to that. Brings out the blue a little bit. And again, some more of that raw umber to it. And again, more titanium white. So I'm looking for a very gray, sort of a hint of blue to it, just a little bit. And right here, I want to make a shadow that's casting. Okay, so leaving some of it broken up to show some of that glow and that shine play in the shadow area. So I'm going to take a little bit more of that darker Payne's gray, and you can see a little bit darker shadow here for some realistic play on that. So if you don't like a value, just take that lighter gray value, and you can always cover back or cut back into or fade back over some of that dark value that you put down for the shadow if it's too much or whatever you want to do with it. Okay, so some of that burnt umber and titanium white with just a little bit of yellow into it and a teeny bit of orange. And with this, I want to go directly around the vase here, or the pitcher here. And this really just testifies to how bright this thing really is by having that light play into the shadow directly around it like this. It really just contrasts and kind of tells that story with that. So now I'm just going to go into some more of that Payne's gray and more titanium white. And as you can see, it's a lighter shadow on this side. So I'll just scratch this in. And again, anything I don't like, I can always cover back over with that lighter gray. Alrighty, I'm going to go ahead and sign now with my script liner brush, lots of water and permanent black, and I want to thank you guys so much for all your support and following along. Don't forget to subscribe if you dig my lessons and my art, and give this one a shot. This is super easy. It's no more than just blending some colors together in a few places, and for the most part, just putting some paint on the brush and putting the color where it goes, and that's about it, and it just does what it does. And it's really that simple, so let me know down in the comments section how this went, and any questions you have, I'll do my best to answer. And until next time, happy painting, everyone.